Look, I need to tell you about the biggest mistake I ever made. Something that still haunts me. I thought I was just speaking my truth, just being honest, but I never imagined how much those words would hurt him. It was a few months ago when things started to change between us. It wasn't like a sudden explosion, no. It was more like a slow fade, a quiet, creeping tension that kept building up between us. We'd been together for almost 3 years, and at first it felt perfect, the kind of connection people dream about. But over time, it wasn't enough. Small things started bothering me, things that I couldn't even explain. It was like the spark we had was just flickering, dying out little by little. But I didn't want to admit it. I kept telling myself we were fine, that every relationship had its ups and downs, right? That we'd bounce back, that the passion would come back to us. But deep down, I knew it wasn't the same anymore. Something was missing, and I could feel it in my gut. It all came to a head one night. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling mindlessly through my phone, while he was in the kitchen, trying to make dinner. I could hear the clatter of the pots, the sound of him trying to do something simple, but clearly frustrated. When he finally came into the living room, I looked up at him. His eyes were filled with something I couldn't quite place. "Are you okay?" I asked, but he didn't answer right away. He sat down beside me, and for a long time, neither of us said a word. Then, he spoke. "Sarah, what's going on? You've been distant lately. It's like you're pulling away from me." I felt my heart drop. He was right. I couldn't deny it. I had been pulling away, trying to protect myself from the inevitable. But I wasn't ready to face it, and I sure as hell didn't know how to explain it. So I did the one thing that would make it all easier to handle. I said it. Maybe we should just be friends. I didn't mean it. I didn't. But in that moment, it felt like the only way to stop the growing distance between us. It felt like the safest thing to say, a way to back out without facing the pain of ending it for real. I was terrified of losing him, but I was more terrified of being in a relationship that wasn't working. The silence that followed was thick. His eyes searched mine, but I couldn't read him. I wanted him to say something, anything, but he didn't. He stood up quietly and without a word walked out of the room. I thought he needed space. I thought he'd cool off and come back, ready to talk things through. We always work things out, right? But hours passed, and I didn't hear from him. Then the next day, nothing. The day after that, still nothing. I started texting him, sending messages I never thought I would send, messages begging for him to talk to me. I told him I didn't mean it. I told him I was just scared, that I was overwhelmed by everything. But there was no reply, no calls, no texts, nothing. I was angry. How could he just shut me out like that? How could he take my words so literally? I never meant it like that. Didn't he know that? We'd been through worse, hadn't we? I sent him another message. "Matt, please talk to me. I didn't mean what I said. I was just scared. Let's fix this, please." But there was still nothing. The silence was deafening. It wasn't until the third day that I finally heard from him. A text message. And I'll never forget reading those words. It was like he had punched me in the gut. "I've been thinking about what you said," the message read, "and I think it's best if we really just are friends. I need space to figure things out, but I don't think we can go back to what we were." His words felt like a slap. How could he say that? How could he just shut the door on everything we had just like that? But then it hit me. I asked for this. I pushed him away. I gave him an out, thinking that maybe if I just said the words, he'd come running back, begging me to take it back. But he didn't. He didn't need to. I had already made the decision for him. The realization that I had pushed him away, that I had made him give up on us, was the hardest part. I thought I could control it. I thought I could soften the blow, but I couldn't. It was done. I called him. Over and over. I left voicemail after voicemail, each one more desperate than the last. I sent more texts, full of apologies, full of regret. I told him that I didn't mean it, that I needed him, that we could make it work again. But nothing. The silence grew louder each day. It started to feel like a weight I couldn't shake. I saw him out one night with his friends, and for a moment, I thought maybe I could approach him, talk to him. But when I walked over, he looked at me like I was a stranger. His eyes were cold. His voice was polite but distant. "Hey, Sarah, I'm good. How are you?" It was like I didn't even exist to him anymore. All the warmth, all the affection we had shared, it was gone. Just like that. I felt invisible. He didn't even say goodbye that night, didn't even look at me the same way. The connection we had was just gone. It vanished. I walked home that night, and it hit me. Harder than anything else, I had pushed him away thinking he would stay, thinking he would fight for me. But instead, he walked away. He didn't need to fight. I had already given up on us. It's been weeks now. I've stopped texting him. I've stopped hoping for a reply. I've stopped hoping I could fix what I broke. I said, we should just be friends. And now, I've lost him. For good. If you've ever pushed someone away thinking they'd always come back, thinking you could control how things ended, then maybe you'll understand. Sometimes, when you say the wrong thing, even just once, it's enough to erase everything, and you might never get them back.